Okay, I'd like to welcome everyone here to Town of Stellarton Council meeting, March 11th, 2024, 5:30 p.m. start time here at the council chambers. The approval of the agenda is first. Any change or additions?
Yes, I have two. I'd like to add after the presentation, Purple Day proclamation. And under correspondence, I would like to add Aberdeen Health Foundation regarding AGM.
Okay, so Purple Day will be number 5, reports from staff will be 6, correspondence will be 7, with 7C being Aberdeen Health Foundation, AGM. 8 will be committee of the whole, 9 resolution, 10 open forum, 11 next council, and 12 adjourn. With that, I have a motion.
I so move.
I'll second that.
Moved by Councillor Wan, seconded by Councillor Pence. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. Nancy, thank you. Next, the approval of the minutes from February 12th, 2024. They're attached. They're also distributed electronically. Are there any errors or omissions?
I move the minutes as written, Your Worship.
I'll second that.
Moved by Councillor Pence, seconded by Deputy Mayor Campbell. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Contrary minded, motion carried unanimously. Thank you. Is there any business arising from the minutes? Hearing none, we'll move right into the presentation from the Rural Communities Foundation of Nova Scotia. I'd like to welcome Hugh McKay here. Welcome, Hugh.
Your Worship, and councillors, and staff.
Just make sure he stands.
Audio visual.
Okay, so I do just click.
You just do the enter when you're ready to go and it'll show you what next slide. So.
Okay. Well, thank you for the invitation to speak to you. So I'm next to you. My intent tonight is to introduce to you the Rural Communities Foundation of Nova Scotia. Some of you may already be aware of us and some of our activities, but I'd like to give you a broad overview, and then at the end I'll focus more on our flagship program this year, which is the Dave Gunning Zero Hunger Fund. So who we are, what we do, and the ask for consideration is primarily awareness. We're trying to create awareness both of the Rural Communities Foundation and the work that we do across the province, as well as the particular programs that we're doing. So we've been involved in bringing local groups together. Typically, we were approached by a local organization that feels that there needs to be some meetings going on in an area. And so we help with convening meetings. And then we undertake fund development or fundraising on behalf of different organizations and provide granting out to them. And I'll give you examples of that. We've been around for 20 plus years now. We're one of over 200 community foundations across Canada. Here in Nova Scotia, we complement the good work that's done by the Communities Foundation of Nova Scotia, which by their nature tend to focus more on the more urban areas, HRM particularly, whereas we are focused on rural Nova Scotia. We are a federally registered charity, and as such we're accountable to CRA, of course, but also to our contributing members, to our donors, and to the grantees. And we don't operate in a silo. We're a member of the Community Foundations of Canada and of the Nova Scotia Not-for-Profit Coalition, amongst a number of other groups that we're involved with. Basically, our mission is to try to find to support sustainability and improvement in rural communities throughout Nova Scotia. As I said, we convene local people for finding solutions to local problems and challenges. We fundraise and provide grants. As a registered charity, we are able to provide tax receipts for our donations, and we also administer various trust funds on behalf of individuals and organizations. Just a number of our current projects. On behalf of the Canada-Ukraine Foundation, we are administering the Ukrainian Nova Scotia Resettlement Fund. This is a fund that's supporting Ukrainian families that fled the conflict in their country, the invasion, and helping them rebuild their lives here in Nova Scotia. the Joan Feynman Climate Change Fund. Joan Feynman was an American astrophysicist, but had strong family roots back in Nova Scotia. And she became a real champion for on climate change and finding solutions for climate change. She passed away, and her family set up a foundation to provide matching funds for communities to use in some of their climate change programs. And so we have a fund, actually it's just been announced about 2 weeks ago. We're opening it up for applications again this year. You might want to check that out if you've got climate change initiatives here in the community. Housing for Health is, what we're doing is providing housing for medical practitioners who are coming to an area. Now, we don't have an inventory of housing. I don't think anybody does in Nova Scotia or across Canada these days. But on several occasions so far, we have been bequeathed land or donated land, or buildings typically, that someone wants to basically give it to charity. They get the tax receipt on the market value of it. We're able to issue a tax receipt for that. Then, if there is a need for a medical practitioner, and that could be a doctor, nurse, lab tech, whoever, coming to the community, then we can provide that housing. If there are no demands at that time in the location, then we'll sell the property, put the funds into our kitty for such things. The Soaring Eagle Fine Arts Grant is something we're doing in participation with a young Cape Breton artist, Jason Drake, and it's to support LGBT, if I got that right, Two-Spirit LGBTQ artists who are trying to get some experience and get some background, some experience on their programming. Community impact conferences, we try to do 1 or 2 of these each year. Last summer, we did one in Member 2 on climate change. Some of you may or may not have been in attendance, I don't know. We had a number of municipalities speaking about their climate change programs. And that'll bring me to the Dave Gunning Zero Hunger Fund, which got cut off by the logo. That's my fault. So I'm sure here in Pictou County, you're all familiar with Dave Gunning, of course. The Zero Hunger Fund, we began this initiative about a year ago. At beginning to put the infrastructure together, and at that time, and I'm just having a mind cramp now, we had another artist, Bruce Guthrow, who was going to be the name of the program, but unfortunately, as Bruce's health declined and he passed last year, before passing, he asked Dave, who was a good friend of his, if Dave would lend his name to the program. And Dave willingly agreed, and I can't say enough about the work that he's done to support this program. He's held a couple of concerts so far that were specific with all the funds coming in, and then every other concert that he does, he's mentioning the program, and we can always tell when he's had a concert the night before, because we typically get a flood of donations coming in the next day. But he's been a great spokesperson on radio and television for us as well, and I can't say enough about his help. So what's the program about? It's about supporting free pantries. And free pantries are an initiative by individual schools throughout the province. They are operated by the schools, primarily the teachers and staff, of course, who recognize that some of the youth, some of the students are coming to school malnutritious. They're not getting proper nutrition at home. And the teachers can easily identify who these students are, the listlessness and, once you get away from the teenagers, but the listlessness and the lack of achievement in academics. And a lot of these kids, of course, are also going to be prone to substance abuse challenges and mental health problems. And so a lot of that can be traced back to malnutrition. And so we're trying to help address that. The free pantries that are set up provide food for kids to take home. So unlike the breakfast and lunch programs that the province runs in the schools and snack program, this is a program where kids can go get some food, take it home, so that there's going to be some nutritional food there in the house over the weekend or over the school break, whatever, or even on a even on a Wednesday night, whatever it might be. So our goal this year is to raise $200,000. We've raised about 25% of that so far strictly through local individual donations plus Dave's concerts. And what we will do when we hit 100,000, when we get halfway to our goal, we're going to open it up for grants. So individual schools can apply to us for a grant of up to $5,000. Now, the $5,000 mark is chosen because we've been told by the schools that's what it costs to set up a pantry or to restock a pantry. Now, in some cases, they just need restocking, maintenance of a current program. Other schools, they'll be wanting to start one up. So that's where our $200,000 is going to go. As I said, so far that's been based on individual donations. We are starting a corporate fundraising campaign this year, and we're hoping to work with business leaders and communities across Nova Scotia and with their chambers of commerce to bring attention to the program and awareness. Where we can, we're applying for community grants for Nova Scotia municipalities. Of course, most of those are due about now, so we're only going to get through a number of them as our resources allow us. And I should say on the bottom line there, funds raised locally will be directed to local schools. So we won't be raising money in Yarmouth that goes to schools in Sydney or such. We will, except for Dave's concerts, where fortunately many people are saying that they're just making the donation, that will allow us some flexibility to help schools where we haven't raised as much as we would like. But for the most part, and certainly for the community grants, money raised locally will be used for local schools. So that's my ask, is just to provide some individual awareness of the program, some corporate awareness of the program. When you're talking to your business leaders and business community, that if there's an opportunity to speak up of this program, we'd appreciate it. We know we're not the only game in town. There's food banks, and we're just trying to complement the work of the food banks. The food banks right across the province, they're all under stress of over demand and under supply. So we're just trying to help address the whole food insecurity issue. You can always consider a private donation, of course, by going to our website for a community grant, if that's appropriate down the line. So thank you, and I'd like to address any questions or comments that you might have.
Thank you very much, Hugh. Very informative presentation. We're happy to hear Dave Gunning's involvement. He's certainly well respected locally, and as you said, it helps with your revenue as well. I know Councillor Pence at one point was on the Northumberland Regional High School. We donated a few times to a pantry there. Is that still in existence, do you know? Or?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Is it the same idea where you take food home or just food while you're at school?
Food while you're at the school, I think.
Okay.
I don't recall them saying that they took it.
Okay. Thank you.
I really can't answer that.
Thank you.
These programs, if I may, excuse me, these programs tend to be run, well, they all are run individually by the schools, and some of them do one way, some do another, some of them call it a backpack program. Typically, the supplies, these free pantries are kept in a discrete area of the school, a guidance counselor's office or a library where the kids can go and get a backpack or a nondescript grocery bag, so other kids don't know and don't try to shame them, that sort of thing. And some, as I said, some of the schools right across the province, 80% already have this. We're trying to support their programs.
Nice. Good work. Is there any further questions or comments for Hugh? No, so we will pass the information on to our residents for sure, Hugh, and thank you for the work you do in the community. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you for your assistance, and particularly thank you.
The old daylight savings time, guy. Thank you, Hugh. Okay, so we'll move on to item 5, which is Purple Day, proclamation of Purple Day. Whereas Purple Day is a global effort dedicated to promoting epilepsy awareness in countries around the world, and whereas epilepsy is one of the most common neurological conditions, estimated to affect more than 50 million people worldwide, and 42 people in Canada are diagnosed every day. And whereas 1 in 10 persons will have at least one seizure during their lifetime, and whereas the public is often unable to recognize the common seizure types or how to respond with appropriate first aid, and whereas Purple Day will be celebrated on March 26th annually to increase understanding, reduce stigma, and improve the quality of life for people with epilepsy throughout the country and globally, therefore I, Mayor Daniel McGillivray, and Stellarton Town Council proclaim March 26th Purple Day in Stellarton, Nova Scotia in an effort to raise awareness everywhere. With that, could I have a motion to accept that, please?
So move, Your Worship.
I'll second that.
Moved by Councillor Pence, second by Deputy Mayor Campbell. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Contrary minded, motion carried. We're happy to proclaim that every year. Since it first started, I believe, the Stellarton Town Council's been on board with it, so it's...
We do that every year?
Yeah.
Is that for all proclamation every year? Sorry, we do that every year for all proclamation, or do they ask for it?
They ask
They
every
ask,
year.
oh, okay.
It's well organized. It's a lady in Nova Scotia who started it. I think it was 2000. It was when we first came around, like 2016, 17, I believe. Okay, so with that, we can move on to reports from staff. The first one, 5A, is Chief Mark Hoback, Stellarton Police Service. The report's included. We met last week as a police commission to discuss it. I would like to just mention that Chief Hoback and Inspector Ponder attended the Special Olympics Gala at the Halifax Convention Center, and Chief Hoback's team won Team of the Year. You see that on social media as well, so it's a great volunteer effort by our chief and officer and inspector. Is there any question in the report besides the comments? Hearing none, can I have a motion, please?
I move to accept, Your Worship.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor Knight, second by Councillor Wand. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried unanimously. Thank you. Next is Fire Chief Michael Sullivan, the Fire Department. The report's included.
Your Worship, I just want to point out that the email that was sent out with the ladies in the fire truck, on the fire engine, that it was Women's Day. Yeah, and it was a nice picture, well represented.
Yeah, we're happy to have several females in the department.
Thank you, Councillor Knight. Yeah, we have 5 actually. The picture only had 4, but we have 5.
Wow, that's great.
5 ladies. On the fire department, I just also want to report that we received some wetsuits for ice rescue, and we did a training where we went down inside the, we cut the ice and went down into the water, and I can tell you that you can't really feel the cold in that wetsuit.
Wow.
Now, mind you, if you stay there for 2 hours, you will, but it was shocking, actually.
Nice. Good to hear they worked that well, and we
Two-
have a river running
two-
through town. So
2 suits, yeah.
nice. Thanks for that update, Councillor Wand.
I'll move the report as written, Your Worship.
I'll second that, Your Worship.
Moved by Councillor Pence, second by Councillor Knight. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Contrary minded, most carried unanimously. Thank you. Paige Draper, Marketing Communications, is next. Just wanted to mention that Paige has been busy with REMO, the Regional Emergency Measures Association, with the big snow we had in early February, with the melt since. We're concerned about Blue Acres, so I'd like to thank Paige for participation in that. We had Heritage Day activities at the Sobey Indoor Sports Complex. Free event took place from 11 to 2. Inflatables, bubble soccer, and a toddler zone, and attendance was over 500 people. In addition to that event, the Museum of Industry also had free admission that day, as well as 2 new exhibits on display. And I also want to mention the Volunteer of the Year Award. We're now accepting nominations for Annual Volunteer of the Year. Nominations are due March 22nd, and the application form can be found on the website. Any further questions or comments?
No, Your Worship, the other thing is we're starting up the homecoming. It's tomorrow, first meeting is tomorrow, 2:30.
Thank you.
I just have one question. What is Jay's Care Foundation?
Jay's Care Foundation is a charity organization, and they're coming to Stellarton in May to put off some clinics, and they tend to bring like retired Blue Jays, baseball players, and unfortunately no current ones, but retired ones that will come and do clinics for children. Yep, for baseball, yes.
Nice. Your Worship, I just want to thank Paige for the Family Day. Appreciate that a lot. And on the homecoming, I know it's a lot of work, and if she requires any help from any of the counselor and myself, I would be more than happy to assist. She's done a great job in the past, and it's been great. And you know, if she needs help, we're here.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Owen. If there's no further questions or comments, could we have a motion, please?
I so move.
I'll second that.
Moved by Councillor Owen, seconded by Deputy Mayor Campbell. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded, most carried. Nancy, thank you. 6D is Blaine Murray, Town Engineer. I'll just mention that, I'll just read a little bit of it. On February 2nd to 4th, the province received a massive snowstorm setting snowfall records. It was reported anywhere from 1 to 1.5 meters had fallen in parts of Pictou County. Public Works was forced to contract additional resource for snow removal, which included a grader and 2 loaders with operators. The conditions were hard on the equipment, and all 3 sidewalk machines were down intermittently throughout the storm and the weeks to follow. The amount of snow received is very hard on all snow removal equipment. Two of our sidewalk machines are in need of replacement. 1 new machine will be coming the first week of March. We've received that. These are the sidewalk plows. And the second one will be coming in April. So we are replacing 2 of the 3 sidewalk plows. We'll have a full fleet of new sidewalk plows again, hopefully avoiding these significant downtimes that we experienced through the storm. And I also wanted to mention there was a large sinkhole reported in McGregor Avenue near the Pioneer Coal Transfer Station. It was 16 and 17 feet in depth. We contacted Pioneer Coal and discussed with them the best solution, decided to fill it with rock, and that seems to have been worked. So,
Not to be mistaken for the pothole that's coming into town. That is not a sinkhole.
we filled that with asphalt. Whether or not it stays is another question. Any other further comments or questions on the report?
No, Your Worship, the only thing I'd like to do is compliment the employees on Town Works. They did a heck of a job during the storm. They kept the town main arteries opened, and they worked 12-hour shifts, and I thought they did a tremendous job. Thank you.
Council wholeheartedly agrees with Councillor Pence. There was some frustration with residents just because of the amount of snow, but when they saw how hard the town was working, the town Public Works Department was working towards removing the snow. They appreciate their efforts, and we got a lot of positive feedbacks about their work and the condition of our roads compared to other local municipalities. So.
I think, Your Worship, there were some roads that they couldn't plow. They had to take the front end loader in first to give them room to go in. So it was quite a challenge.
It was a process.
It was. Yeah.
I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank the administration staff, and they were the ones answering the phones and taking all the complaints, and there were some calls of appreciation as well, and so it was pretty busy down there. So they're the front line, and they need to be recognized.
I think the most important part is great team all the way around. Everybody works together,
Absolutely.
from the police,
Yeah.
Public Works, front end. Everybody works together.
Yeah, and we saw that when we were preparing for the potential flooding of Blue Acres. To see everybody around the table coming together and working as a team, you should be very proud of your staff.
I find they go out of their way, actually. You know, they're very, you never feel uncomfortable that they're not going to be dealt with. Citizens, when they come to the front desk, are not going to be dealt with properly. Because they're very cordial to everybody that comes here and looks after their needs.
It's true. We have a great team. I was fortunate to sit in on the emergency meeting regarding potential flooding in Blue Acres with the team. As Susan said, I was very proud to sit around that table and with the competent individuals who had a lot of compassion and professionalism for the town. So thank you.
I'll second that, Your Worship.
Moved by Councillor Pence, seconded by Councillor Knight. All those in favour, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded, most carried and answered. Thank you. Move on to item 7, correspondence, 7A, Town of New Glasgow.
We received this, the Town of Stellarton did, as participating municipality in the Pictou County Shared Service Authority regarding the East River Environmental Control Center. They had given the participating municipalities notice that it intends to request arbitration in resolving the funding formula matter related to the East River Environmental Control Center, which operates under the umbrella of the Pictou County Shared Services Authority. But just to update, we are meeting, the participating municipalities that are meeting on coming up with a formula that will hopefully benefit and be fair and efficient for all of the municipalities. The issue is the delay. This was supposed to be put in many years ago, the new flow meters, because right now it's being measured as a dry flow, and these flow meters are going to be more accurate. And just for council's and residents' information, this Town of Stellarton's flow meter has been installed. So we're just kind of wanting to come up with a formula in the meantime before we can get the data received from that flow meter.
Okay, thank you. Is there any questions on that? Move on to 7B, Province of Nova Scotia.
Yeah, so this is just information from the Minister of Affairs and Housing and the Minister of Environment and Climate Change on the proposed future of our coastline, Nova Scotia's plan to protect people, homes, and nature from climate change on the Coastal Protection Act.
Thank you. Is there any questions or comments on that? Move on to the 7C. We have the Aberdeen Health Foundation, AGM.
Received notice that the Aberdeen Health Foundation's AGM is taking place on Thursday, March 21st. This year, they are going to be featuring a panel discussion on can we prevent mental illness. That will be, so if people are interested in attending that, they can attend it virtually or they can attend in person as well.
Okay, thank you. If any council is interested in attending, they can reach out for the information. We'll move on to item 8, the Committee of the Whole report.
The following recommendations are for council's consideration from the Committee of the Whole meeting held on February 26, 2024. Recommendation number 1, council approve the emergency purchase of a 2023 trackless MT7 articulating municipal tracker for the amount of $162,365 plus HST. And recommendation number 2, council approve the recommendation to renovate the Stellarton Town Hall for administration only, dependent upon the acquisition of a suitable building for the Stellarton Police Department.
Press your button.
Sorry. The first is the sidewalk plow, is it not?
That is correct, yes.
I'll make a motion that we accept.
I'll second that.
Moved by Councillor Pence, seconded by Councillor Wong. As Councillor Pence mentioned, the 2023 trackless MT7 articulating municipal tracker is a sidewalk plow.
Sorry about that.
All those in favor of saying aye?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Most carried and answered. Thank you. We'll move on to a resolution, appointment of returning officer. Read it. Want me to read it?
You can read it.
Okay. Whereas the Municipal Elections Act, RSC 300, Section 1, provides council with the power to appoint a returning officer. Therefore, be resolved, the Council of the Town of Stellarton appoint Josephine McDonald as returning officer to the municipal elections to be held in October 2024 in the Town of Stellarton. She'll be an employee of the municipality of the County of Pictou. Have a motion for that, please?
So moved, Your Worship. I got a question, I guess.
Moved by Councillor Knight, seconded by Councillor Pence. On the question?
Yeah, the question is, are we going to have, we're going to have a poll that people
So
can
that's
physically
not
access?
determined tonight, but Josephine will do what the will of council.
All right, no, of course, that's with the fact that we're going to have a physical location for people to come and vote.
So
We're comfortable
just for
with the-
clarification, you're asking for paper ballots. We always, yeah.
Yes.
We always had the physical location that they could have gone
Yes,
through.
yes, paper vote.
Yep.
Thank you.
So last time we did have a poll, but we just helped people vote electronically on the poll?
Exactly.
Okay.
Do we need a motion to that effect?
I would recommend you get costings first on that. I don't have that information.
Okay, so maybe that'd be a later date. All those in favor of this motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded, most carried and answered. Thank you. Move on to open forum. Is anyone like to speak at the open forum? Billy?
Come up here and you have to press the button and state your name and address.
Oh, no.
Sorry, I turned it on for you. There you go.
My name's Bill Camber, and I live at 144 North 4th Street, Stellarton. And, do I just keep talking now?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I was here a couple of years ago when Paul Quinn built that building in North 4th Street. And right after they put the footing in, I live next door, and my sister lives It's the same building, same, she lives at 142, the old miner's house there, it's the black house on North Ward. But anyways, when they put the footing in, I come up to town, I said, you gotta put, there's a footing in there, and the time they put the wall in there, I said, they're gonna be way up too high. The water's running all into my basement. So then they put the walls up, I said, no, and I remember you, Gary, said, Billy, you don't gotta worry about nothing. Number one priority is, on this job going in, is the water. And they went down and did a pile of work on Kirk Avenue for over a week, and maybe over 2 weeks, I'm not sure. I walk up the street every day at 10 o'clock, it's at the bench, same as that's all the starting guys. Some of us are still left, but, but anyways, I'm getting myself mixed up here now, but the water just keeps coming in, so the town said that, was it last year or the year before, they put a pipe in my yard and run it out. It'll catch some of the water in the wintertime, and, or in the summertime, and drain it off. It'll drain off, but in the wintertime it'll freeze, it wouldn't work, so that's as far as they got. So this winter came, and we never had any words or anything with the guy that owns the building there, Mr. Quinn, but I asked him, could you please mind plowing the snow? You've got it over top of your fence. When it gets over top, you got his fence right out to the boundary of my land. But I didn't mind that when you put the fence up, but all the water, they got everything built up so high, and they did all that work for the water. It was all supposed to go to Kirk Avenue the other way, none this way at all. But it does go that way. So that's why the town put the pipe in to try to help out. But now, he's trying to buy the house off me, and he's mad because me and my sister don't want to sell the house. We're there all my life, both of us, so he piled up. I got some pictures here I'd like to show you if we could. And I can explain some of them. This is all his fence and stuff. You can have a look at them. But anyway, he piled all the snow up to try to flood me out. Oh, that's another paper there. To try to flood me out on my side on purpose. The snow is humongous. It's the fence, that wire fence you see in the pictures is probably this high, ordinary wire fence and post. The snow was up higher than the ceiling, all piled, and he put the bucket over the fence onto my land, the snow. And piled it all in that corner, and the town has an agreement. They said for everything to go down to Kirk Avenue, remember Gary, that was number one priority for all the water, not snow, anything. But they said that they didn't know what they could do with it. And then they changed town engineers in the middle of that. But now he's just deliberately trying to drown me out, and the pictures are there to prove it. You know, I'm not bothering. I never got no arguments with the man or nothing. But all I want is, it's just, it don't look so big in that picture. That snow is still 14 feet high at the back of the yard.
You'd rather pile it somewhere else, basically.
Well, it was supposed to go to Kirk Avenue. You haven't seen too much there, Gary. Boy, do you remember that?
Billy, when you come to an open meeting like this,
Yeah.
you can speak, but we cannot respond
Oh,
because we have to get the information from the.
You're on.
What we have to do, Billy, is we have to go back to the town engineer
yeah,
and get a report from him before we can speak on this issue.
yeah.
That's what we'll do.
Yeah,
Yeah, because,
yeah.
We definitely sympathize with you. We did put some infrastructure down there to alleviate this issue, so we'd like to see it work properly, not.
yeah, it only works it's not working right now. All the water's still running. It runs in the summertime when it rains. It still runs in. But I see that it was supposed to be done right the first time. The papers are all over to check. It's all supposed to go to Kirk Avenue. The middle of that building goes 50% my side and 50% the other way.
There you go.
All right. Yeah, so it's an awful mess though, but I don't want to get flooded out. I just took this paper here also, I don't know why I took it, I don't know anything about this kind of stuff, I ain't get that much education, but you can have a look. I just put a new furnace in my house, the date's on it, it's brand new, $6,000 some. I don't want, I'm really worried about
Is
that
your
snow.
basement flooded now?
What?
Is your basement flooded?
Well, there's water coming in all the time, but there's a drain there taking it out. But if anything happens to that drain, there's no, there goes, that's the way things go. But he just deliberately doing it because he offered me enough money to get a pretty good second-hand car for the house. So that's, that's the truth. And he's not reasonable. You can't talk to him. I tried to talk to him, I asked him, would you please move that snow because it's going to flood my cellar up. And his reply was, I can do anything I want to do, hollering at me, anything I want to do on my property. This is my property. Anything I want to do, I can do all the time. That's what he said to me.
Okay, well,
And he said, go to the town. And he had his car door, truck door open, and he left. So.
here we are.
So I guess I'm done, so, I don't want no trouble, man, all he gotta do is, he's just doing it, like I say, he wants to get the land for nothing, he likes to build houses and rent them and stuff, everybody knows that, so.
We'll talk to the engineer about his staff, Will, and we'll go from there and hopefully find you some type of resolution. We'd like to if we can.
Yeah, I talked to him on the phone, he said it's some kind of a civil meeting or something, he said to me on the phone, but it's not a civil meeting, it's a civil thing, because if this was all agreed with the town, I had nothing to do with it, this was between the town and Quinn, and all the water, and everything's supposed to go that way. He spent thousands of dollars at Kirk Avenue, watching every day, working it all the time, floor drainage to go that way.
Okay?
And, thank you very much for putting up with me.
No problem, Billy. Thank you again for coming, and we'll see what we can do.
Okay, thank you very much.
All righty?
Bye.
Take care.
Bill.
Yeah, bye.
Okay, no one else would like to speak at the open forum. Next council meeting is Monday, April 8th, 2024, at 5:30 PM, and I'd ask for a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Thank you, Councilor Pence. Meeting adjourned.